The light we bring has disturbed something up ahead. Hurry, mortal. You are not safe here.
Set is raising his army.
Croft, are you sure we're up to killing a god?
Have you come to bow before me? Come, let us finish this!
Hello everyone! I'm Megan Marie, Senior Community Manager here at Crystal Dynamics. The team at Crystal D hopes you've been enjoying our newest adventure, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, playing either solo or with friends. In our third developer diary, we're going to give you an inside look at Temple of Osiris' downloadable content and community challenges. On January 14th, the Icy Death Pack launches, which contains a new tomb filled with challenging puzzles and a slew of enemies. The pack also includes new weapons, rings, amulets, and a skin for Lara, which is going to look familiar for fans of Tomb Raider 2013. So when we began development on Temple of Osiris, we wanted to create an in-game system that would keep fans and community challenged well after launch. The team came up with a system to reward the community for completing certain challenges, such as exterminating scarabs with flamethrowers, gunning down enemies with a chain gun, and beating the final boss a set amount of times, pun intended. Completing these events unlocks goodies and new areas containing challenges in the overworld. If you want to keep up to date with the latest challenges, follow us on Facebook or Tumblr for weekly updates. We have loads more community challenges and content planned. Keep an eye out in early February for the next content drop, which is going to include a second new tomb, weapons, rings, amulets, and a skin for Lara that's going to give Tomb Raider fans a trip back down memory lane. We think you'll really like it. Thanks for tuning in. See you online. Download the Season Pass for access to all downloadable content.
Hello everybody, I'm Scott Amos, Executive Producer for Lara Croft, The Temple of Osiris, here to introduce our newest dev diary. Last time around, we met some of our design team as well as our new characters in Lara's latest 4-player adventure. We also focused on the cooperation and competition mayhem that comes with 4 simultaneous players. Today, we're here to talk about one of the defining pillars and a fan favorite of this franchise, puzzles. We're lucky to have with us our lead level designer and the puzzle design guru of both Guardian of Light and Temple of Osiris, Jeff Wages.
Amos.
Wages.
Yeah, it's a thrill for me to be on the Lara Croft franchise. As you mentioned, I was on Guardian of Light, and when this chance came up at Crystal, I was excited to jump back into it. There are a lot of things I learned from Guardian of Light and from my work on Tomb Raider in 2013 that I was eager to bring over to Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. And I had a few new ideas for puzzles that we can only do now with our latest mechanics in our 4-player design.
Which is kind of Jeff's way of saying that when you get stuck or frustrated at some of these crazy things he's come up with, you can please address all of your hate mail to him.
Nah, they'll be fine. It's never about punishing the player. He places a huge emphasis on visual language to make sure that the puzzles are communicating themselves to the player. After that, they can cooperate and experiment and work until they find their own aha moment that solves the puzzle.
Which is, honestly, for us, that's the fun, to see people get through this game, to play it front to back, to see everything. And the game is fully playable in single player. And co-op, people need to work together, though, right? Since we have 2 different classes, we split up their skill sets, so then we have these custom cooperative puzzles. As we said from our last diary, we've got archaeologists and gods. I'll let Jeff talk a little bit about their skills, but certainly having these characters that have different things. Jeff, give us a few examples of how these guys work together and the kind of things they can do.
Sure, so the grapple line is a returning feature from Guardian of Light. It gains a powerful ability with 4 players, in that each player is their own grapple point, so you can maneuver in a lot of new and exciting ways. The Egyptian gods bring the Staff of Osiris to the table, which shoots a beam of light which solves puzzles and can manipulate anything in the world that has these glyphs of Osiris baked onto them.
So even like, when you had Teltec and Lara, where you had kind of these 2 different classes that were split up in the last game, right? Now we're talking about having these kind of puzzles where people not only have to work together, but even on the timing side of it. We talked about it with the last playtest. We watched people playing, saying, okay, I'm going to hold the staff, 1, 2, 3, and then they let go too early. Their friend jumps across, dies in the pit of spikes. Those seem like those great kind of cooperative puzzles that we're kind of striving for.
Exactly, it's one of the fun challenges of designing puzzles that can scale from 1 players to 4 players. We try to add new interactive elements as more players enter the game. One of the simple examples that you'll see here is that in single player, Lara must manipulate the mirrors to destroy the rifts in Duat using the Staff of Osiris. Whereas in co-op, one of the gods must use their staff to lower this platform while Lara manipulates the mirror, and then another one shoots the staff to destroy the rifts. And it's just one example without giving too much away.
And I know we have one particular snake boss called Apep that you'd put together, so you want to tell us a little bit about that guy?
So yeah, this is Apep. He had rather humble beginnings. It was me, the designer, who first modeled and animated him and threw him into the game. And the first prototypes had these weak spots on his back that only the Staff of Osiris could affect.
And then even after single player, I remember we'd actually done it once where you had bunches of mirrors around the level, and then for multiplayer you started upgrading that a little differently.
So we had this rough version that works with 1 player, and then we had to, how do we make it scale up for 2 players, 3 players, 4 players? How do we balance the puzzle elements with the combat? It's really taking these really bare-bone ideas and iterating through them with the rest of the team to bring it to its full fruition. It's important with these types of action puzzles and bosses that the player should know immediately what they need to do, and the real challenge comes from executing and working together to get that done. And that's where all the fun and hilarity ensues.
Having a hand and a voice in everything that we build, we can make pretty extensive changes in a short time, kind of like the Oracle's Chamber area.
Sure, we do a bunch of internal and external playtesting. This is one area where we really felt the need to inject a new flavor, a new theme into the game. So here's where we highlighted one of the elemental effects that hadn't gotten a lot of attention yet from us, which is poison. And this gave our artists an excuse to go crazy with the green, and the designers reauthored the combat to focus on poison. We took one of our highest rated challenge tunes from later in the game and gave it a poison flavor and installed it here as a puzzle gateway to the Oracle.
Which, I mean, clearly from the playtests after we'd done the change, boosted up both the experience, the puzzle experience in that area, and introduced the unique combat that the Oracle area has, with all the flashier and dramatic touches and lighting effects, even that eerie kind of creepy aura that we managed to put in there throughout. So everyone, we hope you enjoyed another sneak peek into some of the new puzzle elements coming in Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. Thank you, Wages, for walking us through what it takes to build some of these crazy puzzles. We're super excited to put the finishing touches on Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. You can all play it on December 9th, 2014 on Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
See you all online.
Hi, I'm Scott Amos, the executive producer of Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, the sequel to the award-winning Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light from Crystal Dynamics. Today I'm joined by 3 of our devs.
Hi, I'm Alicia Thayer, I'm a designer.
Hi, Will Kerslake, lead designer.
I'm Robert Chivek, the producer.
So in today's Dev Diary, we're going to take you through all the awesome, exciting adventure we have planned for you for 4-player co-op action and talk about our characters and all their features. But looking back at Guardian of Light, it was an instant classic when it shipped. It was one of those things that people got together and said, this is an amazing 2-player co-op digital experience. That was the inspiration and the blueprint for us to say, how do we push ourselves further for Temple of Osiris? How do we get to a 4-player game? How do we go with more characters online, with more craziness, with more exotic gameplay? So for us, this was all this labor of love.
So in this adventure, we have Lara Croft, the world-renowned archaeologist. We also have Carter Bell, who's new to the series, and he's an up-and-comer and competitor to Lara Croft. Our archaeologist characters have a torch that they can use to light some of our darker tombs and solve puzzles and find hidden rewards. One of the other unique abilities the archaeologists have is the grapple. With this, they can swing over chasms, create rope bridges, and use it to help friends traverse dangerous spaces.
Next up, we have Isis and Horus. These are the Egyptian gods that are joining Lara and Carter in this new adventure, and they have their own unique abilities. With the staff, they can affect glyphs in the world, moving objects up and down and interacting with anything that has these special markings. They have a magical shield. It can act as a barrier to provide protection. The shield can also be used as a stepstone, allowing other players access to difficult-to-reach places. It'll also move across the surface of water.
Now, because co-op is such a focus for Temple of Osiris, we made sure that the world would react accordingly depending on how many players are in the game at one time. For example, when you add in your friends, the puzzle might actually change dynamically. There could be more mirrors, more obstacles, more enemies to deal with.
And naturally something we've seen is the more players you have at one time, the more chaotic the game can become. So you'll start competing for loot, but you also start griefing your buddies, kind of that competition angle.
Oh, definitely. So as you're going through on this adventure and you're playing with 4-player co-op, you might be, going through the world, dropping bombs on your friends, accidentally dropping them into spike pits.
Nice.
Accidentally, huh?
Accidentally, right. Yeah, we've seen Robert. If you guys ever play with Robert online, be careful. He will drop you in a spike pit, as you can see here from this footage we captured earlier today.
But the point is it gets crazy hectic, right?
Right, and one of the great things is, you have to work as a team in order to defeat bosses and everything, but you'll notice that there's gems that will be dropping throughout the world.
Right, and the gems are actually part of our loot system.
Yeah, so the gems, each individually, players collect gems. Now, weapons and things, and to beat the puzzles within the game world, you do have to work together, but the gems are unique to your character, and you want to collect as many as possible.
And the cool thing is, when you get to the end of a tomb, there's all these treasure chests that you could open, and you could use them to unlock powerful new rings and amulets, weapons, and costumes for your player.
And the chests are different costs based off of the type of loot that you can get from them, so the more gems you have, the cooler loot you get.
The more people you have, the better the loot will become. You can start seeing just the crazy way you can outfit your character, both customizing with rings for yourself and then amulets that you share with the team.
The rings themselves are things that personally affect your character. Lets you move faster, have a bigger bomb, that sort of thing. Whereas the amulets are shared between the teammates, which is really important. So for example, if I have a spread shot, which lets me shoot all these different directions, and Robert here has flame shots, now all of a sudden we have spread flame shots if we're both powered up. So you learn how to get a team to work together to maximize your firepower.
Alright, so that gives you a very quick look over everything that we're doing for Lara Croft and Temple of Osiris. 4-player, couch, online, mix and match, drop in, drop out, and drop your friends into spike pits. From our side, this is all about working together as a team, but also competing together as a team. This is for us one of those labors of love that we come from the Guardian of Light days, looking forward to what we want in Temple of Osiris Day, so we really hope you guys will love playing it as much as we've loved making it. Coming out this year, December 9th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Thanks, team. Anything else?
Thanks for watching.
All right, guys, have a great time. We'll see you online.